Guys, hi, I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Another video here. Today's video is going to be about how, especially for new people who are just, realizing that they were with a narcissist or wondering if they were. Today I'd like to discuss in this video the best approach to how to heal using the resource of YouTube. And the inspiration for this particular video came out of two things. One, it came from the fact that I was just in hospital last week having surgery, and I'm fine, so thank you. There's no need to be concerned or anything. I'll just say that beforehand, but it got me thinking. You're in bed and you've a lot of time to think about things. So one thing I was thinking about was wound healing and the various different types of advice I was getting about that. And the other was to do with the reactions to the interview with HG Tudor. So the combination of that has inspired this video, and I hope you find it useful. Okay, so thinking about healing, because that's what we're all about in this community. We've been narcissistically abused. We've been in a situation with a narcissist, whether way in the past or just recently. And I think we all have the same goal, and that is that we want to heal from this experience, we want to grow from it and move on, and we don't want to go through it again. I'd say that's safe enough to say. So I was thinking about this and how we can best approach this. And my thoughts were, when I was looking up how to heal a wound, and this is just a little simple analogy, I wanted all the information I could possibly get on how to heal my physical wounds as quickly as possible and what was the best approach and most suitable for me in my situation. So the analogy I would say would be, look, supposing you got a cut on your knee and one person said to you, well, you have to put a plaster on that cut immediately and some ointment, because if you don't, it won't heal. It'll get dirty and it won't heal. Keep the plaster on until it's healed. And another person might say to you, the best thing to do with your wound is to clean it and put a bit of ointment on, but don't put a plaster on. Whatever you do, don't put a plaster on. It needs the fresh air to heal. And you're there confused and thinking, well, that's two different conflicting pieces of advice. So what should I do? Well, I would say to you in relation to healing is that get all the advice that you possibly can and make a decision that suits your particular circumstances, because the same advice is not going to be applicable to all people. All people want the same result, but there are some general pieces of advice that will work for everyone. Like, for instance, on our channels, we will all say, go no contact with the narcissist. At least there's definite agreement on that. But there are other different approaches to how to heal. And I'm talking about these differing approaches. So, for instance, you get a cut on your knee and you work in an environment where there's a lot of dirt flying around and your wound could become infected. So the advice for you would be to put a plaster on the wound and don't take it off until you're in the fresh air. The other person may be in the fresh air all the time, and the plaster may hinder the healing where the fresh air would have been better for to let the wound heal. So my approach, and going forward for this channel, is to find out all the information that I possibly can and give it to you. And you make the decision yourself for what is the best way for you to heal in your particular circumstances, with your particular life views. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you have to do this and you have to do that. I'm just going to give you everything that I have found out. I've taken the time to research things. And going forward, what I would like to do is take a holistic approach, take a psychological approach to healing from narcissistic abuse, giving you all the information I possibly can on that, taking a spiritual approach, giving all the information I possibly can on that, and taking an approach that comes from a self-care, self-help, growing self-esteem approach to healing. And it's for you to take from that what is the most beneficial for you. I will not push any one way down anyone's throat. You guys are adults, are intelligent, are empathic, have been through what I've been through, an awful amount of pain, to come to your own decisions about which way is best forward for you and how to utilise the facilities that there are here on YouTube to heal from narcissistic abuse. The reactions to the HD Tudor interview were as I expected. I knew that there was going to be mixed reaction to this interview because we all have different ways of looking at things. And I appreciated both the good comments and the bad comments, or the negative and the positive, because we need to question, we need to look at all aspects of everything. We need to have discourse about what is the best way forward, because without discourse, without an open mind, without all the information available to us in every possible way, I mean, if you, this is my way, guys. If you are presented with a problem or a sickness or something you need a solution for, you're in a state that you're not happy with, do you look at one side of the problem and decide that you'll heal half of the problem? Or do you look at the problem in its entirety with every single possible viewpoint or aspect or part of that particular problem before you decide this is the problem in its entirety and I want to find a solution to this problem also in its entirety, not just something that's going to help me with some aspects of the problem? For me, guys, I just want to explain to you, I am sick and tired of narcissists telling me who I am, what I should do, what I should think, who I should listen to, and who I should follow. We have gone through far too much to sit there like good little empaths and be told by people the way forward. My view is that we should be given all the information from all angles in order to use the gift of discernment, which we now need to make flourish. We need to become back into ourselves, use our critical thinking, use our inquiring minds, use everything that makes us us, about us, to make an informed decision about what aspect of healing is pertinent to our particular situation, what holds true to our values, and what direction we want to take. But how can we do that if we're not aware of all aspects and all solutions and the totality of the problem? So that's what I think is extremely important at the beginning of healing and at the end of healing and whatever stage you're at. Now, we start off searching on YouTube to find out, have we actually been with a narcissist? And there are a variety of different approaches to the education in our community. And this is, again, just my opinion, but this is what I found in my healing journey. And maybe it'll resonate with you, maybe it won't. But I'm here to to help as much as possible, and just to let you know what my experience was and see if it helps. I found initially that I couldn't listen to too much harshness or anger or truth. I needed a mild explanation of what narcissism was, because I wasn't ready to accept. It was too painful to actually accept that I had been with a narcissist. I needed to find out gently. So I kind of found myself gravitating to channels that were like that at the time. Then at different stages, I needed to go into my spirituality. I needed to ask God. I was desperate. I needed something extra, something spiritual to help it make sense to me and for me. And I would go to channels that were more focused on spirituality. Then I wanted to learn about the psychology to really know, was I with a narcissist, and what to look out for and how to heal from that and to understand it in a psychological way. And while I was doing that, I understood that even though I am a Christian, I understood that in my view, God says he's there to help us, but that he can't live our lives for us. And it's up to us to find out how to go about our lives in the most productive way that keeps us most in tune with our purpose. And he wasn't going to do that for me. I felt that I had the responsibility and the obligation to search out all avenues and all answers to enable me to make an informed decision about how I wanted to move forward. So the psychology channels at that stage were something I really couldn't get enough of, to be honest with you. Then at another stage, although I didn't suffer much from anger, I wanted somebody to be angry and indignant on my behalf that something like this should have happened to me, and that I wanted to hear them tell me that the narcissist was all evil and all bad, and that I was right, and, you know, what happened to me wasn't right. And that helped me through another phase. And then I found channels like HG Tutors. When I was able to, I had found that channel and some other channels beforehand that I wasn't able to listen to too much. I found it too truthful, too hard to listen to. But at that stage then in my healing, I was able to sit back because the pain wasn't as excruciating and I had moved forward in my healing, and I really wanted to fully understand more, because in understanding who and what a narcissist is, I could understand and learn more about myself and my reactions to that. So I was then ready to hear this aspect, a narcissist telling me who a narcissist is. So I would not like to close off any avenue to someone starting out on their healing, because at different times you may need to hear different messages, and you have the power, and it's your God-given right to make your choice about who you decide to listen to and what you decide to listen to. And your interpretation of your religious instruction or your life value is your interpretation, and it's your freedom of choice. And that is what I want this channel to remain and stay focused on. I know some of the aspects, like when I'm interviewing people who've been through narcissistic abuse, some of those aspects can be triggering. Some of what I say in videos can be triggering, and some of what maybe HG Tutor said can be triggering, or even to have HG Tutor on could have been triggering. But I want a holistic approach. If you don't want to listen, just turn it off and maybe come back to it at some stage when you can listen to this. There's a lot of people in a lot of pain and a lot of anger who are coming to the channels, who are at different stages of healing, and understandably will want to lash out at different people, will want to lash out at people doing this and doing that. While it's understandable, it's not helpful to put more hate and more anger out there. It's, in my opinion, it's better to be constructive rather than destructive, and try and understand that other people want to hear other things and have choices and not be told that this is the only way you can go. And if you don't go this way, like for instance, what do people who aren't Christians do if you're quoting the Bible a lot? And I'm all on for this, quoting the Bible. But what I'm saying to you is we have to be inclusive, not exclusive. There is no one particular way to heal that is the all-knowing best way to heal from narcissistic abuse. I mean, given the Bible was written a very long time ago, and it was telling us about different personality disorders and types in a way that the people writing of that time could put it across. And the word lasts to this day and is the best advice to this day. But if those people were, say, who wrote the Bible, were here today, would they use YouTube, or would they say not to listen to this or that? Or would they think that psychology had a place in the Bible and that psychology explaining what the narcissist is and what they're about could protect their brethren from further attacks? That yes, the advice here is very like the Bible. You're told to go no contact by, or it's suggested by nearly every narcissistic abuse awareness channel on here. And that is a given. You're told to run, and you're told that the narcissist does not have your best intentions at heart and that the narcissist is dangerous. So what we're saying here is the same as what the Bible says, but we're also saying here is the Bible's description of narcissists in modern day terms, using the forum of the science of psychology on a YouTube forum. So I'm just saying that the way I see it is the Bible was written years ago by people who, if they were here today, may very well use YouTube as the modern day Bible and use psychology to explain how to recognize these people and how to keep away from them. God says we must put in the work ourselves. So I believe that we need to educate ourselves, and that's why I believe these channels are so important and why they're so purposeful and why we need to navigate our way to find the information that best suits us, to customize a healing journey using this facility on YouTube. The other thing I would say, just the last thing I would say, guys, is in relation to listening to a resource such as a narcissistic psychopath who is extremely capable of relating and relaying information so that it is relatable to our circumstances and giving good advice. Take, for instance, you maybe have a scientist who is a narcissistic psychopath and they come up with a cure for cancer. Now, do you not take the cure for cancer because they're a narcissistic psychopath? Because they wanted to develop this cure so that they would be famous and renowned and maybe make a lot of money? Do you say, no, I'm not taking the cure for cancer because they're a narcissistic psychopath and I can't trust the cure, even though the cure has been used by a huge amount of people and there's a huge amount of testimonials to back it up and say it works? I don't like closed minds. I think closed minds are based on fear and ignorance. And if you're going down just one avenue, it can prevent you from fully healing. I think go down one avenue if you want, if you've explored all other avenues and that avenue is definitely the one for you and you know that you can be healed and that is the cure for you on your healing journey from narcissistic abuse. But what I would say is that a distaste for the last interview that I did there with HG Tudor has been exerted remotely, and word has got back to me from different sources, and people have sent emails giving out and telling me what I should and shouldn't do and who I should and shouldn't have on the channel. And while I understand that the people that are doing this, they're doing it from a place of conviction, a place of not necessarily negativity, but of fear and of pain. I just like to say, guys, maybe let's not be so forceful about forcing our own opinion on people. Let's just say that's not our decision to make. Let's also say that you and I are not God. At least the last time I checked, I wasn't God when I checked in with my ego. So while I know narcissists, I'm not standing up for narcissists now. What they do is appalling, some of them, and some of them are worse than others. But what I'm saying is, do you treat them like the condemned and not think that they have anything of value to offer? Do you throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak? I thought that was God's job, to judge people. So on that note, please consider sharing the video if you think it might help someone who's just coming on the healing journey and is kind of veering down one avenue or the other without examining all aspects and keeping an open mind, because we're very fearful sometimes of what we don't know. And I'm not afraid of narcissists. I don't want you to be afraid of narcissists. I want you to understand who they are and to understand who we are ourselves, and to use the gift of discernment in relation to how we want to move forward personally. It's a personal choice. Don't let anyone tell you who you can and can't listen to, who you should or shouldn't follow. I mean, we got away from narcissists. We're healing from narcissists. We don't need to be told who we are, what we are, and what we should do anymore. I used to hate that as a child, to be told what to think. I hope this is of value, guys, and I hope you get where I'm coming from. I'm not putting anyone down or devaluing anybody, because I believe everybody in this community, or most people in this community, are here to help. So use your discernment, and I hope that you get the best for you out of what's been said on YouTube, because without it, I don't know where some of us would be. We need to support our community. We need to support every channel here that has in any way helped us. And I think not rule anything out until we've given it a good listen to and thought about it. And if it's not for us, it's not for us. But you make your mind up, guys. You alone. Just you, not anyone else. This is all about self-empowerment. This is all about coming into ourselves, who we are, what we want for ourselves, in our own thoughts and in our own way. That's it, guys. I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.